Welcome into Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up today for PrizePicks with that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is Scott Bogman. And I can see in the chat, Boggs, I guess people consider us fashion icons. People were guessing what shirt we were wearing. The leading money basically was you wearing the red polo today.
Oh, yeah, that's usually my uniform, but we're going Johnny Cash today, all black. So
I like that, the man in black. And it's great to have Bogman here. Welsh is out there getting multiple illnesses from the water park for the rest of the afternoon. So I told him, I said, get sure you get some nachos and a margarita and a whole thing of penicillin. I think
right,
the best thing for you,
and a bucket just to carry around. Right, yeah.
It's unavoidable. It's a great.
It's not a cruise. A cruise, I feel like a little more dangerous, but I think it'll be okay.
A little more Legionnaire's diseasey. Is that a phrase?
Sure.
Yeah, not, I just made it up. But we got a lot of baseball to get to today, so Boggs and I are going to break everything down from last night. Look ahead to today's action too, and it's June 1st. So again, a demarcation in the season. Another time now we are a third of the way, officially through the baseball season. So that is, again, when you start evaluating your teams and seeing what's working and what's not. It was fun to see Lynn not working again, I have to say, because I was pissed, Boggs. I dropped that bomb a couple weeks ago after defending him in draft season. And then what happened? He put up his best two starts, and I was saying some choice words. They might have had some expletives in it. And then last night,
Shohei Ohtani to your rescue, Joe. I mean,
yes.
He made Lance Lynn look like a goofball, like he has most of the season. And, I mean, in a regular league, you can probably just go ahead and toss him aside. Not that he can't put it back together, but I mean, just by what metric? What are we going on? Where's the positive? I don't know where it is. So,
well, speaking of Shohei Ohtani, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani and the not one, but two homers he had off Lance Lynn yesterday. So that's good news for me. They crushed the White Sox 12-5. That's what you want to see. And Ohtani, this is the time here, folks, too, where, when Ohtani starts to have these big games, and we're talking about this on the Twitterverse yesterday. I was in a conversation with our own Ryan Wormley and, of course, Mike Mayer, my favorite person in the universe. And we were talking about, the Ohtani wagering on Twitter. And I said, Mayer made the joke that, once it turns February 1, Joe makes all these investments in Ohtani. And I do. But this year I was very specific. So you got to watch these games now. If he has a run where he has like a smoking hot June, you might want to consider cashing out, because the risk of him getting dealt to the National League, to me, Boggs, is just too great of a possibility. And I think you take your money and run, whether it be for Cy Young or, more importantly, MVP, which is already in the negative basically for most sites.
Okay. Like I understand. I understand what you're saying.
I missed you. I miss when I say things like that and you go, all right.
Look, man, I mean, it's going to take a trade for Ohtani would be like, what does that even look like? Like they were talking about on MLB Network yesterday, they were talking about how much he's going to make on his next contract. It was $600 million is probably what he's going to get, because if you combine Trout's contract, which is what he does, with I think it was like Verlander's contract or somebody, it was just absurd what he would get. And so if you're going to have to pay him that much, what do you have to give up to get him? It's like an entire system. So I don't know who's going to be willing to give up like their top 5 prospects.
The Mets, Steve Cohen.
Okay.
First of all, he's going to pay him. And number 2, they've got the prospects to do it. And they've got a log jam of prospects. They can choose either Beatty or Vientos, one of those 2 third base prospects. They can put Mauricio and bite the bullet with him because they've got Lindor. So really, typically, you don't want to do that. Jet Williams is another big prospect. They have a couple pitching prospects there too. The Mets are the one built for it, and they have the will to do it, which I think at the end of the day, it takes the ownership's will to do it. I think the Dodgers are in it too, but the Dodgers, it would have to be Bobby Miller. It would have to be Miguel Vargas. It would have to be like that kind of a package. And I don't know if they're structured the way they want to be to move all those guys. Like, that's going to be a very top-heavy team. It's going to be Mookie, it's going to be Freeman, and it's going to be Shohei Ohtani, because they also got Kershaw wondering how much longer he's going to pitch. I know he's been great this year, but we were all kind of like, oh, yeah, maybe Kershaw will throw another year. He looks like a Cy Young, but I don't know how much longer he's going to go at it.
I think everyone has had the daydream of what if Ohtani was on my team, and I think you just did it out loud to a bunch of people. So
Dude,
look, it's a
listen,
realistic dream for you. It's
I
not if you're a
hate
Pirates fan or a Diamondbacks fan or
not. This is
a
nothing
lot
new.
of
I
other
see
places.
Beef Curtains is trolling me in the chat. Such a Mets fan, tried and true. Ohtani doesn't want to play for that loser franchise. I don't blame him if he doesn't want to play for that loser franchise. I know it's a loser franchise. I'm just telling you, this loser franchise has the guy with the biggest payroll who has, wants to swing it around basically. And I'm telling you right now, he doesn't care. Mitch Keller also doesn't care about your feelings. Now, I got the
Very
over on
true.
the strikeouts, but I didn't get the earned runs number, which was shocking. He's been fantastic. So 4 runs in 6 innings. So it wasn't quite stellar as usual for Mitch Keller, but he's got 90 strikeouts now before June 1st, Boggs. Can we just all drink that in? Mitch Keller. Can
Talk
anyone
about someone that should be traded. I mean, I know the Pirates are playing great, but come on, man. Like, how long is that going to last? It's like since O'Neal Cruz went down, they've gotten so much better, which is weird. But I don't know.
It is weird. Yeah, they lose their best player and all of a sudden they're like a contender. Here's a fun fact though. There's only one other Pirates pitcher to ever have 90 strikeouts by June 1st, and it was in 2013. So if the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks can name that Pirates pitcher,
Oh, I think I
that's a
got it.
fun thing. All right. Well, don't spoil it.
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
when the
Okay.
kids
Yeah. Sure.
guess. I
Yeah.
like when the kids guess around things. Josh Naylor 4 for 5 with 2-run homer, 6 ribbies, and a steal. What a night for Josh Naylor for the Guardians. Anthony Santander, who we were talking about as a buy low a few weeks ago, well, that ship has sailed. He had another homer yesterday, and he was seen, by the way, drinking from the Dong Bong once again. So the Dong Bong was in full action. That, of course, is Mike Mayer. Oh, no, wait. It's Ryan Mountcastle drinking from the Dong Bong. But just terrific. Santander has just been brilliant in the month of May. Now we see if he can continue it in June. Esteury Ruiz has his major league leading 28 steals. Boggs, we're June 1st and the guy's got 28 steals. Tell me, is it 1982? Because it feels like 1982.
Yeah. Now I'm the greatest of all time. Yeah. I mean, Ruiz feels like he's going to steal 100 this year. I mean, looks like it's going to be better than 80, which hasn't happened in a while as well. So I like it. I like the stolen base stuff. Of course, my team, the Diamondbacks, is the fastest team in the bigs, it feels like right now. So, Corbin Carroll, he had the little knee injury earlier in May. But he has been swiping nonstop recently. So yeah, Acuna has been stealing them. I feel like I like baseball more when we see a bunch of swipes. It feels more fun.
Yeah, it feels more intense. The pace has been great. And you want to see the athleticism in the game because I think it got stripped out of it basically over time. I mean, especially last year, the stolen base totals were so low last 2 years compared to what they were in the past. You go back and watch, I remember during pandemic, MLB Network was showing all those like old games from the 80s. And it seemed like no matter who was on first, there was a possibility someone was trying to steal base.
They were at least dancing over there, for sure.
There was at least something going on, and the pitcher had to care about it. And you just completely saw that taken out of the game. I'm so glad that it's back. Now, in all fairness, the answer to the trivia question, Mike Mayer did guess it first, but I'm not going to acknowledge him on the program. So instead, we're going to give it to, no, it's not Dylan Cole. It's not Cole for Dylan Love. It is indeed Michael got it right.
Yeah.
Michael Impo.
AJ Burnett.
Burnett was the guy to do it. And
That's
he also had 700 walks in those first
That sounds exactly correct. I used to draft Burnett every year because of all the strikeouts he would pile up.
Yeah. Well, didn't he throw I remember at one point he threw it was a no-hitter for Miami, wasn't it? Wasn't it Miami where he threw the no-hitter for? Or was it with the Pirates? I remember he threw a no-hitter and he walked like 7 guys in that game or 6 guys.
I mean, that sounds right. I just remember Edwin Jackson's 8-walk no-hitter against
the close to that
Rays when he had 158 pitches or whatever. AJ Hinch.
Trash. Let's talk about one of the guys for your Diamondbacks. Tommy Henry. How about Tommy? 25-year-old lefty. He's got a 3.76 ERA, 7 strikeouts and 7 scoreless frames. So
career highs on both.
Career highs on both. Now he's only got 25 Ks in 40 innings. So obviously, I don't know if this is what we're expecting for him, but with the Brandon Pfaadt experiment kind of going south quickly, what are your thoughts on Tommy Henry sticking around in this rotation?
I don't know. Like Tommy Henry has proven that he's good enough to stick around. I don't know if he's a fantasy asset though, but I mean, the Rockies are terrible, dude.
They are
Like,
so
they
bad.
are
I keep telling
so
everybody,
bad.
troll the Rockies, man.
Yeah, they get out of Colorado. They have a hard time hitting, and that's exactly what happened last night. The pitching is trash. I mean, they're so bad in the rotation right now, Joe, that Dinelson Lamet came off the IL as a reliever, and they pushed him into a starting role. So, it's just I feel like Tommy Henry had a great start last night, but it was against the Rockies. So if you can get him against weak opponents, great. But I'm not throwing him out there against anybody hot or anybody good.
I was right. It was in 2001. He was against the San Diego Padres, and AJ
Everybody
Burnett.
knows how good the Padres were in 01. They were great.
Right, and here we go. It was 9. He walked 9 guys, struck out 7, walked 9 in his no-hitter. I remember that line going, that's the most improbable, impossible thing I've ever seen.
The Padres actually might have been pretty good in 01.
I was gonna say they were actually really good around that time. That was actually
yeah. It was it was the next 20 years after that until 2 or 3 years
right
ago.
after, was it the 99 team that was really good? And
they went to the World Series and got swept by the Yankees, right?
Right. That was the Ken Caminiti years of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah. Trevor
Hoffman, all of those guys there. Louis Varland had 7 scoreless innings with 5 Ks as well. And James Paxton, well, he's been frustrating. He's like great or terrible. 8 strikeouts for him over 5 innings last night. It's a classic Paxton line. I'm sure next week it'll be 4 innings and 5 earned runs in the next start. But we'll see what happens. But let's continue on here with the injuries. Carlos Rodon is scheduled to throw a bullpen session Friday. So I guess at this point, Boggs, I'm going to give you a number. 10 starts.
0.
Over under Carlos Rodon rest of the season. What do you got?
Under
Still.
I love Carlos Rodon. He's great talent, but I was a couple years early. Actually, I think last year I might have just been 1 year early on the injury worry for Carlos Rodon. And this was all stemming back to when the White Sox wouldn't give him a contract, wouldn't give him anything, So I don't know, man. I fear for that guy staying on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had turned a corner last year. I really did. I thought, in San Fran, he looked really good. And I was like, okay, maybe this guy's just figured it out. The lefties, sometimes they take a little longer. Historically, you've seen that happen to some talented guys because he was a great college pitcher. He was one of those guys that you felt like, okay, this guy's going to get it and get it right away. And he never did.
He's a good pitcher, but can't stay on the field.
Can't stay on the pitch. He's a great pitcher. Giancarlo Stanton hamstring issue is rejoining the Yankees ahead of Friday's season opener against the Dodgers in LA. So that's going to be fun. I was watching a thing too that I didn't realize. I caught this in one of the reels. It might have been one that you sent me that Giancarlo Stanton was a punter. It might have been.
Yeah, I sent you that one. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a punter and apparently amazing at it.
Yeah, they said he played strong safety. He was great. He played, I think, wide receiver or something. Yeah. Wide receiver, that's what it is. So he was great there too. But I can't remember who it was. It was some movie star.
It was some actor guy.
Yeah, some actor guy who said, I thought he was going to go to the NFL as a punter because he would boom at 80 yards. And I always like that Joe Pisapia's theory on why Giancarlo Stanton is always hurt. It's because he's too fit. He's too physically in shape.
Way too good.
He's too stiff because of it, and he pulls things.
I want you to think about this. If you go back in the day and you watch these guys who played 160
don't remember
games
Bartolo Colon pulling any muscles.
I remember Bartolo Colon making 35 starts every year, throwing 240 innings. That's all I remember.
Yeah, with 3 different families.
They'd go, play baseball for 6 months, and then they'd go work at Ace Hardware for the next 3 months before it was spring training again. I think there's something to be said for overtraining. I do. And I think that's why you get so many muscle tears and pulls of these guys nowadays, because I think they're training them. They're training the muscles for the activity instead of training the muscles by doing the activity. I just think that's the core problem. And
that's what you need to do, Stan. You need to go help people find drywall screws on aisle 8 in the off season, working at Ace Hardware. That's what you gotta do. Instead of working out. And
Aaron Boone totally looks like he works at Ace Hardware. He's definitely the guy,
like the regional manager.
He's
like,
totally
all right, we need to come in and move all this stuff.
Yeah, he's like, now we've moved all the hardware section to one. The light bulbs are in another place, or you go down one aisle. My favorite thing is you always go down that one aisle at Home Depot. And if that person doesn't work in that aisle, they have no idea where anything is. Like, look, can I get a hose?
They're pulling up on their phone. Hold on. What was it called again?
Hold on. Steve, you know where hoses are? I'm in
Jim, you got a copy?
I'm in light fixtures. I got nothing here. I can tell you about all the light fixtures. I have no idea where nails are. I got nothing. That is the worst. I hate that, by the way. Anthony Rizzo was out again with a neck issue, so keep an eye on that in those day-to-day leagues. MRI on Michael Conforto's heel came back clean on Wednesday. That's good news. Jose Alvarado 13 pitch live batting practice session. So we'll monitor that. Alec Boehm underwent the MRI Wednesday on his hamstring. They can ill afford the Phillies to lose another corner guy because Boehm has been playing some first base for them after Derek Hall went down. Like they're in a spot where they better make a deal for another corner-ish kind of guy because it feels like they need to.
Bryce, can you just stand on first and catch the ball? We won't ask you to throw it at all. You can underhand it if you need to throw it. It's fine.
By the way, Mayor says it's 100% true. People pull out their cell phones to see what they have access to.
I mean, it's happened every time I've gone to Home Depot. So.
They do it. Yeah, Lowe's, any of that stuff. It's so funny. Also, this is very big news. Justin Steele is going to undergo an MRI in his left forearm Thursday.
Anytime you hear forearm, it's usually not great.
And we're back. Okay, I don't know what was going on there. Something.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw it too.
Home Depot popped in there and took me offline. They got.
You can't be talking smack. All right.
But yes, the forearm is always a terrible thing. And I love it. This is David Ross's quote, manager. We're not sounding any alarms yet. Really? Yeah. We're not. And it's a shame.
I mean, we're standing next to the button and ready to hit it, but we're not sounding it yet.
Oh, so. I'm sounding the alarms. And everyone's saying AI because every time I bring up an AI thing or talk about that, all of a sudden weird things happen to the internet connection. It's happened twice now, and it's really hilarious. By the way, did you ever catch did Welsh share our AI lasagna making experience going on?
Yes. Yeah. I think you both shared that to me. That was bizarre.
It's upsetting.
Right. Yeah. I don't like it.
Guys.
Yeah.
Mets are playing well though, making some lasagna, hitting some beating the Phillies. Good times.
Trading for Ohtani, according to Joe.
So. Here's the other question too. When it comes to Steele, like it feels like that's the end of the Cubs because I feel like I know Stroman's been above expectations.
Good.
It's been very good.
Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't help, obviously. No. So, but I don't know if it's the absolute end. So, it'll still stick around for a little bit, but you know, teams are going to start. The injuries are going to start piling up for a bunch of teams pretty soon.
The best thing we can hope for with Steele is some sort of weird, like, sometimes it's not even the forearm; it's like some other thing going on, or like a tendonitis or something like that. That's the best case scenario. But Boggs, it just feels like every time we hear these things,
every time we hear forearm, you know, you clutch your pearls. Not the forearm.
Here's a fun one too. Julio Teheran is still around. He pitched 6 innings and a win yesterday. He only whiffed 2 guys, so I don't know how sustainable this is, but Julio Teheran is back in baseball, and he got a win yesterday against Alec Manoah. So that just tells you where Alec Manoah is these days. 3 up and 3 down. George Kirby struck out 7 guys in 8 innings against the Yankees. Keibert Ruiz sticking it to his old team, the Dodgers, his old organization. Not 1 but 2 dingers. Mookie Betts crushed on the PrizePicks yesterday.
Holy word, Trey Turner. Yeah.
Pair of solo homers. Beautiful day to be alive. The Downs, Josh Hader blew a 3rd save of the year. We already talked about Lance Lynn's 8 earned runs in 4 innings. Gross. His ERA is at 6.55. And then there's Alec Manoah. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks. He only went 4 innings. He was fighting to get back into this game. It looked like with the manager, and the manager's like, nah, brah, just go sit.
I was listening. Yeah, I was listening to the game, and they were talking about how the Blue Jays are kind of putting it on him. Like they were asking about, like, do you think it's mechanics? He said, nope. And they said, do you think it's anything? Nope. He said, I think the ball is in Manoah's court is basically what it boiled down to. Like, it's just management is putting it on Manoah. They said we have done everything we possibly can to help him out. So now they're kind of putting it on him to straighten it out. And he went out there and choked again. So I don't know. I think maybe the old change of scenery is going to have to be
already
for Manoah. I mean, what else?
No.
I mean, when management is already throwing you under the bus, Joe, what is there left? So
love.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. We'll go to the city of brotherly love, trade him to Philly, and he'll be great. There you go.
Yeah, right. Trade to Philadelphia.
They're so nice in Philly. They're never mad at the players. So that's good.
I guess the whole point when it comes to a guy like Alec Manoah, because I'm just bringing this up right now because I want to, take a look at what those stats are. But this was a guy that rocketed through the minor leagues. It's a guy that really has looked outstanding in Major League Baseball the last couple of years. If you look at the minor league track record. I know it wasn't a long one for him necessarily, and I think maybe that's part of it, that he didn't spend a long time, kind of figuring things out. So are they telling us it's a maturity issue, a preparation issue? Like I feel
No,
like
they
that's kind
they
of what they're.
they really don't think it's anything that he's doing physically. They feel like it's between the ears. I mean, that is every signal that you have is management is not buying Manoah. They think it's between the ears, and he needs to straighten it out himself because they've done all the mechanical stuff. They've done all the pitch, change stuff. They thought maybe a little bit like they were like, "Do you think the pitch clock is getting to him?" They said, "Nah, he's gotten through that." We thought that maybe in the middle, but
Well, I think a lot of people thought that at first, but it's the walks at the end of the day that are just your
right.
undoing. I mean, at a certain point, you have to trust your stuff and you have to throw strikes, pound the zone, and go after it. All right, enough Alek Manoah talk. Let's get to some prize picks. It's time to pick our prizes, and you can do the same thing. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100, but only when you use that promo code leading off. One word, leading off. Do it. Let's go. For me today, looking at the prize picks, I've got Joe Musgrove at 5 pitcher strikeouts on the over, Jesus Luzardo 6 pitcher strikeouts on the under. I'm going the under on this one. And Corbin Carroll 8.5 hitter fantasy points. I'm going over
Yeah.
on that. And just like yesterday, went the over on Mookie Betts and crushed that. Give me the guys with the hitter fantasy scores around 8.5, who have power, who have speed, who can get you points in different ways. That's the key to that one. Boggs, what do you have here on the prize picks?
Taylor Ward hits Framber pretty well. So over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. He's hitting 400 in his career against Framber. So pretty solid there. Scherzer over 6.5 Ks. Chris Sale over 6.5 Ks. Philly and Cincinnati have top 10 highest K percentages in baseball. So, shorter slate today, less to pick from, but give me those strikeouts.
I love it when the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks break news to us, too. We have one here from Tristan Torres. Alec Boehm did indeed just go on the IL with that hamstring. So there you go. Left hamstring on
Trade
the
for
IL.
Manoah to play third. That's what's going to happen now.
You're just dying to get him in Philadelphia. No, but I mean,
He said he
I
needs
think,
some love. It's the city of brotherly love. They love everybody.
when you have players struggling, you have a couple of different ways you could deal with it. And I think whenever you have younger managers, they have less patience with guys, or some of those older managers, they've just been there, done that a million times. It's when you watch, let's say, the struggles of certain guys with Buck Showalter over the years. Like Buck Showalter doesn't panic about anybody. Terry Francona doesn't panic about anybody. Like
Right.
those guys don't care. They've been around. They've seen it. I think there just becomes this undue pressure an organization like that. And I always said this about the Blue Jays this year. I said, the Blue Jays are going to have a lot more expectations on them this year. I want to see how they perform with expectations, because they've been the lovable darling here for a long time. But expectations, it's a whole different kind of pressure. And I don't think so far they've performed well collectively under that pressure. Betting wise today, again, you can have it over bettingpros.com/leading off. It's our little group there. You can follow us on there. I've got Freddie Peralta, 4.5 Ks, the over. Pablo Lopez, 4.5 Ks. It's a small number. Cleveland does not strike out a lot, but I think he can get to 5. So we'll go the over on that one, but it is close.
Like
Joe Musgrove, I'm already over there, 5.5. And then Chris Sale, 6.5 strikeouts for him. So I'm going to go over on that one too against Cincinnati. Tanner Bybee also 5.5 Ks. I think you can go over that, especially against Minnesota, who strikes out every 2 seconds. Boggs, when you're looking at the wagering slate, what do you have today?
Let's go Pavin Smith over 1.5 total bases. He's hit homers in 3 of his last 9 games. So, and also leading off for the D-backs most games. So I like that. Zach Davies, we'll stack my D-backs today because they're playing late. Over 4.5 Ks. That's plus money. And they're playing against Colorado, who's terrible on the road. So we like that. We'll go with Taylor Ward is plus 150 against Framber because it's the old lefty there. Seabold over 2.5 earned runs is minus 135, but I mean, Colorado Stars have been terrible. And Astros over 4.5 total runs is minus 110 today. And they have gone over 5. They've gone 5 or more in 5 of the last 6. So those are the bets that I like for today.
Boggs, everybody says that, Twitter's a wasteland. Social media is terrible. I posted that like Black Book's usually out June 1st, right? For football, we're working on the Black Book. All our Fantasy Pros bros, you included, have worked on the book.
It's my fault because my
it's not your fault at all.
Long,
no, but unfortunately, there's been some unforeseen family stuff going on from my parents and stuff with their health last couple weeks, and I'm just behind on stuff. Like I always want to get it
need
out
it today.
I know, but
Damn
here's
you
the fun
helping your
thing.
family, Joe. I
You
need my
put that
fantasy
out there,
football info today.
and everybody's so nice. Hey, hope everything's okay. Don't everyone's been very supportive and nice. There you
Not
go.
me. I'm the
Not
jerk.
you.
I need
Bogman
it
was being a
today.
jerk. Yeah.
Where's my black book? Where
See?
is it, Joe? Come on.
Elon Musk even tweeted, "Hey, bro, it's all gonna be good. Don't worry about it." You got a nice tweet from
Wow,
Elon too.
man. No,
Yeah, screw
Twitter
that guy.
is nice. It's not a cult at all.
You know what else is nice? So rare. So head over to fantasypros.com/collect to sign up today. Again, it's free. Free is fun. Licensed digital cards from all 30 major league teams. You scout, you buy, you sell, you make your lineups, you compete, you win. Again, this is just a fun thing. If you want to find another thing, maybe your fantasy teams suck and everyone's hurt and you have Alec Manoah and Lance Lynn leading your rotation. Here's a fun way to just kind of enjoy baseball again. fantasypros.com/collect. Again, MLB so rare. The next era is here. And don't forget, when you do sign up there, you can join our league at fantasypros.com/leading off league and compete against other peanuts and cracker jacks as well. For me today, looking at the DFS slate, it's funny. Usually these short slates, sometimes I just pass altogether. Usually I'm on the FanDuel side of things too, but on DK today, you want to play on DK because the prices are loose and they never are on DK. But today they are. Chris Sale's just 7.9, Tanner Bybee 7.3, Pablo Lopez 7.6. I don't know what's going on. They got hammered last night and then they decided to just like set all the things. The most expensive guy is Framber Valdez by far at 9.8, which he's usable too, obviously. She's got a lot of guys in the 7.5 range to 8. It's a great grouping. Boston, Houston, again, short slate, so you can control a little bit more. Sometimes you get those short slates where you don't like the pitchers, you don't like the matchups. This is one where you've got a lot to like. Justin Turner, 3.8. Alex Kirilloff at 3.1. Royce Lewis at 2.9. A lot of guys you can help save some money on.
Got to make those hitters count with all those pitchers being cheap. Everybody's going to have good hitters. So
yeah. And what you got to do is also get involved in the home run contest too. Prime time at 20, Razor at 19 still. We did not get Welsh on the board with 16, even though he's got 16. He's not here today, so we can get away with this. But we have Joe DEC 89 getting on the board. So that's the first time I've seen that name. Congratulations to Joe. Hopefully he'll be at the Joe meeting in next week. We have one every single month.
There's Joe meeting every week.
Yeah,
my middle name is Joe. Can I
is it really? I never knew all these years.
It's not. I'm just making that up. So
that's sad. I was gonna say now I would like you finally after all these years, but nope, still a jerk. I'm going to go with Rafael Devers today. And again, if you want to make a home run call, you go to fantasypros.com/chat. It's free to join, but you have to, of course, be a premium to make a home run call because we're giving away free stuff every month. So June, this is a new month. So if you get the most home run calls in June, we're giving you free stuff. Mike Mayer's in charge of the free stuff. It's going to be good. Usually it's like hats or t-shirts or money to our Fantasy Pros shop. Sometimes it's other cool things. But again, go premium today or drop a comment below on the YouTube channel and go premium potentially if you get chosen as one of our contest winners as well. So Boggs, you got any home run calls for the people today?
Yeah, give me Christian Walker. I'll stick with my Diamondbacks on a short slate against bad.
And you called me a homer today.
Hey,
all this Corbin Carroll.
I didn't trade Ohtani the Diamondbacks, Joe. So
let's don't have the goods to do it. They don't have the goods.
And also, are the Mets playing the Rockies? I bet you'd taken way more Mets if they're playing the Rockies today. So it's and Walker crushed one yesterday. So and he's about to go on a hot streak. He's right there.
Here's one from Jonathan Appleseed. Is Bryce Miller for Kyle Schwarber a good trade? It is if you're getting Bryce Miller. So that's my answer.
I don't know. Schwarber hits his hot streak, around this time every year, with the weather warming up and everything. I think it's fair for sure.
I watched Kyle Schwarber take a couple at bats the last couple of days, and he looks terrible. Like
look, I mean, it's a thin line between he
was my biggest bust
guy that's going to hit
too
50 bombs and Joey Gallo. The batting profile's terrible and he's been bad this year, so it's fair, I would say.
Yeah, that profile player is just always one I stay away from. The Gallos, the Schwarbers. I can't get there with those guys, and I understand they've got prolific power. And last year everything broke right for Kyle Schwarber, but the repeatability of that was crazy. Oh, here's a good one from Cody too. It was like Jordan Walker turning things around a little bit in AAA. So if he's available in your league, now would be a good time to slide him under the waiver wire. By the way, the waiver wire video comes out today. If you haven't already, go check that out too. Some good names and breakdowns of Ellie De La Cruz and some other things too. Larry wants to know our finals prediction for the NBA because we're full service here. Before we go, we also did a betting pro show with my boy Dane Martinez. he gave some amazing approaches to betting the finals too. So go check that out on Betting Pros on the YouTube. But Boggs, this is just Nuggets in 5, Nuggets in 6. What do you say?
Let's say Nuggets in 6. I just, Bam's going to have a tough time against Jokic. So
yeah, seems like it.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? But yeah, so good stuff. Scott Bogman, always great to have you.
Thank you for
Great to
having
catch
me.
up with you a little bit, and we'll see if Welsh. I want Welsh to come to tomorrow's show, and I want him to have like one of those cartoony, ice packs on his head with a thermometer and a blanket
Oh, yeah,
on.
yeah. Just cartoon birds spinning
Yeah.
around his head. Yeah,
After the water park. It's gonna be great. He's right though. He's like, I'll be fine Friday. It's Saturday when it'll hit me, and then I'll have antibiotics by Sunday. So tune in tomorrow to see how Welsh feels after the water park. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your Thursday.